I pay $60 every time I go to Taco Bell.
You bring in the Olympians, you bring in the soldiers, you bring in the survivors of all these different situations.
Go get sunburned and then tell me I have white privilege.
70% of Democrats are in favor of requiring ID.
Ginger anger right here. This leprechaun is pissed off.
Because all of these are witness that America can do. Welcome to the Young Patriots podcast. I'm your host, Devin Romero, and we're here with Aiden MacArthur. This is a special episode. We are actually...
That was a fruity wave. This is a special episode, though. Sorry, continue.
As I was saying, this is a special episode of the podcast. We're not going to have a guest on today, but we are going to do our feedback on the State of the Union. Got the letters mixed up in my head. So yeah, we're going to talk about the State of the Union, and I have quite a few comments and points that I'd like to make. You ready, Aiden?
I just have a couple points I want to make, but you'll probably cover it, so go for it.
Okay. Well, first off, it was about a 2-hour-long conversation, monologue, actually, that President Trump gave. And had to say, just want to start out with, we've seen Trump when he started in 2015, his campaign. He's a pretty divisive character. I personally did not like the fact that he was calling names to Marco Rubio and to Ted Cruz and, I think it was Jeb Bush. So a few different individuals, plentiful amounts of cases of that. And I always took issue with that. I actually didn't like Trump when he first ran. I was a big Ted Cruz supporter. I feel like he was truly a constitutionalist. I know there's been controversy with him recently because of Israel and whatnot. But what I have been interested to see is, despite the fact that, yes, Trump is a divisive person, regardless of when you're looking at his campaign, he's always been, that person, they're not very smart, very stupid, cannot stand that person. If only they liked me, then maybe we'd get along, but they don't like me and I don't like them. Stuff like that. And I just never liked that delivery. I do think he's extremely talented. I do think he is an incredible negotiator. I mean, as he said, during the State of the Union, $18 trillion worth of agreements that he's made with companies and other nations that are going to bring revenue and jobs back to America. I mean, that's pretty staggering. A lot of those are the AI firms. So the main thing I want to get off on the right foot with is we have to understand that Trump has always had those types of characteristics. He had those characteristics long before he ever ran for president. And ironically, if you go back in time to all the people that knew about him, the only people that hated him were the people that felt intimidated by him, like Mark Cuban, or the people that don't like the rich. So if you hate the rich, you hate Trump, just by default. Most other people loved Donald Trump until he ran for president as a Republican. Let's all remember that. Okay, that's a really helpful thing to kind of just set in the backdrop. So he was a fan favorite. He was on many talk shows, and people were just, eating up the entertainment value that he brought. He was a fascinating character for a lot of people. He still is funny. He cracked a lot of jokes during this very speech. But at the same time, even though he's always been divisive as a politician, this is one of his less divisive speeches.
Which is saying a lot, because I just watched the highlight reel, like a 30-40 minute video of the highlights, I guess. And even still, he's like talking about, he'd say something that only the Republicans supported, and then he'd make a big deal about how the Democrats, they don't support it. They're like this, they're not smart, whatever, exactly like you were saying. I'm like, dude, I'm a huge Trump supporter. That was kind of ticking me off. Like, seriously, you and I, we're trying to, unite people, and we got the freaking president of the gosh darn United States being a jerk to people. Like, that's not helping anybody. Yeah. So I hear what you're saying.
I'm glad that it's less than what he typically has done in the past, and that's kind of my point. Yeah. But absolutely, I think it would be the thing that would have improved it is just sail. Just talk about everything that we've done, everything that we've accomplished, everything that's changed since 2025, the start of 2025, and let people remember what it was like prior to that and make their own decision. I agree. I don't think it needs to be we demonize. I do agree with a couple of things. And one was that he pointed out that throughout the entire monologue, there were very interesting points where the Democrats, and when I say that, I mean the politicians, refused to stand, refused to clap.
That was hilarious.
So in general, and you guys can fact check me if you want, in general, I noticed there were two types of topics that the Democratic senators and representatives actually were willing to stand up for and clap, and not everyone did. And those two were the Olympians, both the men's and the women's teams, and the soldiers. Specifically, some of the really old soldiers for like World War II and Vietnam and a couple of those other wars. I think the Korean War was also attended by some of those individuals. So those specific topics, you looked and I saw everyone. I guess there were some people out of camera that they didn't stand or clap, but it looked like for those topics, everyone stood, which is good. I'm glad that happened. I'm glad that they were willing to stand for the Olympians. I mean, let's just take a little bit of time to appreciate, definitely not biased or anything, that we won gold in the greatest sport in both genders, which is hockey. We won men's and women's hockey in 2026.
That was tough. Hockey is an American sport now. Canada, suck it.
We took it.
It's ours now.
No, we are not coming for your country. So that's a part of the controversy. Okay. People are going to not like that I say this.
You know, if Canada would have allowed themselves to be annexed, you know, maybe, wait, what am I trying to say? I don't know. I saw a meme about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
I'll show you later. No one else is going to understand this, but I'll show you later. We'll laugh about it.
So the thing is, there's actually a post the White House made, and a lot of people were pissed off about this. I get it. It's really funny, okay? This, in sports, we call this trash talking, okay?
It's different than hate speech.
Let's take it easy. Where he's not threatening to take over Canada, but there is a picture that he posted, and you've probably seen it, of a bald eagle on top of a Canadian goose,
so sick.
And the Canadian goose's beak is planted in the ice, and
in the ice,
like not in the ice, but like the face is in the ice.
I know.
Okay,
cherry on top,
rubbing his face in the ice, and that picture has been used for other memes, apparently. Mm-hmm. But Trump used it for this one, posting in response to Trudeau saying, "You can't take our country and you can't take our sport." And he said, "Just did." With that image.
That's so tough.
Hilarious. Okay, listen.
If that came from Biden, I'd still laugh. Like, forget parties.
It's funny.
That's just so funny, dude.
It's actually really funny. Now, again, we're not taking Canada. I don't want to take Canada. It's its own country, okay? Let it be that way. I don't want to try to intrude. There are a couple of provinces that are wanting to be adopted by the United States. They're trying to secede. I don't know how close. It's been talked about for a while. I don't know how close it's actually to happening.
I don't want to change the American flag. I like the stars.
I know. It would just become like Greater Idaho.
Oh, can we please? We need more representatives.
It would just be a big Idaho state.
We should take Northern California and make it part of Greater Idaho.
That's a little bit of a tangent, but that's a problem that California is facing this next census year, is they're running out of electors because all the people that were, me included, leaving the state and going to other more conservative states. So California is a little worried. I think they were saying they were going to lose 5 electors at this point.
Really? That's actually significant. And then we got...
And if you block the illegal voting. If you block
illegal voting.
Illegal immigrants.
Then, what's his face? 23 years old. He just did the Somali scandal thing. What's his name?
Nick Shirley.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm blanking on that. But he's already been exposing people
voter fraud.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In California.
Extreme voter fraud. So
in California.
When that really gets undug, I mean, California's cooked.
They're going to lose a lot.
We don't need to nuke them anymore. That's
but
a joke.
Idaho's gaining 2.
We're gaining 2?
We're gaining 2 electors. I think we have 5 right now,
That's
if I'm not mistaken.
So
we're going up to 7. That's crazy, dude. But that's coming up. So just keep that in mind. People are making their vote, and they're voting with where they're living. So keep in mind. Let's pay attention to that. Okay, so some of my notes from the State of the Union. One of the initial things, and I thought this was huge, like Democrats, please respond in the comments what you think about this. Do you believe Trump? I feel like if the Democrats in the room that didn't stand and clap for this, I think maybe they did so because they don't believe him. But they say here, he said, promises to ensure that immigrants he promises that he will ensure immigrants will keep coming to our country. That was huge because, I mean, we've talked about it. Yeah. We think that there needs to be a pause on immigration. And very temporary.
There has been, right?
Very temporary. I don't know. He's saying he's going to pledge to continue to allow immigrants to come into the country through the legal means.
Right. I hope that means he's going to make the process
more secure,
easier and faster, and more secure too. I understand it's not just him that needs to fix it. There's got to be a whole.
It's probably DHS that's involved.
But if we can get started on that, I mean, seriously, that's like the most unifying thing we could do. How can both sides not agree on making the process easier?
But they should have stood up and clapped. I'm disappointed that the Democrats did not stand and clap.
They didn't clap for that?
No, I told you 2 things. They clapped for the Olympians and the soldiers, and that's it.
So Democrats didn't clap, aka support allowing immigrants into the country. They just want them here illegally.
I think they don't think Trump's being genuine. I think they're like, well, you've already shown you're not going to. So I think that's just
definition confusion, but I see where they're coming from, I guess.
I'm going to make a claim. Again, this has nothing to do with the followers, the Democratic voters, the anyone on the left. I'm not making this judgment of you, but of your representatives and of your senators, which we've got problems with ours too. I think the reason they made that decision to not stand was because of politics. I don't think that they had anything to do with what Trump said or A, B, C, D, or E. They're playing a political game. They're trying to resist and say, look, we defect. We do not comply with a Hitler. Now, that being said, the moment you bring up the Olympics, which everyone agrees is very patriotic and unifying, and the military, that's when they were worried that their image would be impacted because they did not stand.
It really is all about image these days.
I think they are only worried about how they look to their followers, and if they look unpatriotic to their followers, they're worried that they will lose support. I think if they really had their way, they would have sat for all issues. I don't think that they agree with that action. I think it's a political stunt.
I agree.
And I think that's very sad. I think on both sides, we need to just stop. We need to knock this off. Do what you believe in. Stop taking lobbying money. We're going to get to that. It's incredible some of the things that were said out here. And I think it's a missed opportunity for the Democrats. They could have totally shown, hey, despite our big disagreements with Trump, let's try to work with him. But the problem is, do you work and negotiate with Hitler? If you believe Trump is Hitler, that explains why they don't look at it this way.
Yeah.
I think they know he's not Hitler.
Of course.
They're seeing him on a daily basis. Did you see? I love how Glenn Beck pointed out. They're getting their photo shoots with him as he's walking out. If he's Hitler, why in the world do you want a selfie with the president? That looks really bad in the history books if he's Hitler. Mm-hmm. I don't think they think he is. So.
Not the people that work closely with him, but they definitely, and when I say closely, I'm talking like Congress and everyone who was there, but definitely their followers and the people that they feed information to, they totally tricking them into thinking that Trump's this terrible person.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be perfect. You're not going to like someone 100%, but he got elected. Let's make the best of the situation.
Yeah, it's not like people are going into this blind. We've had him as a president before. Yeah. So the fact that he got reelected kind of shows maybe there was some regret on voting for the last president. So he also announced that there have been 0 illegal immigrant crossings of people entering our country in the last 9 months.
How does he know that?
Well, at least that they're aware of. You do realize that during the Biden administration, part of the reason we have all these numbers is because they were literally catching and releasing. So they'd catch someone, they'd tally it, and they'd let them go. What? So we were letting people into our country, allowing them. We were not detaining them. So a big part of it.
Nobody's illegal on stolen land, so you know.
That's what they're saying, yeah. So a big part of this is just they weren't releasing the people that they found. So if they've captured someone, well, they detained them and they deported them. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the concept.
I see. Okay.
I don't know if anyone...
So it's not that 0 people have crossed onto our land. It's just 0 people have made it past Border Patrol.
Exactly. Of the people that have been caught by Border Patrol crossing the border,
that makes
we are not
sense.
letting any of them go.
Cool.
They've been caught, they've been detained, and I don't know how soon, but they have been deported. Mm-hmm. So pretty awesome statistics there. Trump also gave the Team USA goalie for the hockey team a Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest civilian honor. So he said he's one of few athletes that have actually received that award.
That's so awesome.
But I mean, if you think about it, this was, just so everyone knows, I didn't know this. I thought we literally won like 4 or 8 years ago. We have not won the gold medal in the men's hockey team for the Olympics since 1980, which, if you know, that's when we beat the Russians. That's when we beat the Soviet Union in the Miracle movie where it talks about that. That's where that happened on ice. It's since that.
That's insane.
So pretty wild that it's been that long of a drought. I don't remember if the women's team had the same issue.
Guns N' Roses wasn't even a band then. Jeez.
Nuts.
That's how my brain works.
I am so freaking proud of our hockey team. That is incredible.
I have so much regret because I knew that the game was going to start at like 6 a.m. on Sunday. I totally planned to watch it, and I completely forgot to set an alarm. I wake up, and I walk into my friend's apartment, and they're celebrating. I'm like, what just happened? Then I remembered. I felt horrible. I wish I would have seen it, but
it's victories like that they're so unifying for us.
Seriously.
Because everyone in America wants America to do well. Can we just agree on that? If we agree on that, any accomplishment that we achieve without cheating, without doing things the wrong way, that is something that unifies us and encourages us. It does have an impact on our national morale. And it's a little sad to see some of the less patriotic actions that have been taken by, like there was a USA skier, I think it was, that she actually defected, and she's like, I'm going to ski for China. I don't know why in the world you would do that.
If she wants to go for China, send her.
That's not my suggestion.
I'll even go as far to say that I bet that God played a role in letting both the men and women's team win. Not that America's better, that we're more religious or anything, but gosh dang, we need some divine help to get us unified. And if we can just start there.
That. Just in the sense that it would help inspire people. Yes, America is back. Yeah. America can do this. America is the land of the brave and home of the free. So, home of the brave, land of the free.
Land of the free. I know what you mean. But
land of the free, home of the brave.
I think God's just giving us every opportunity to try and be unified. I mean, I made that meme about Punch the Monkey, who went viral for a few days. That freaking united us out of nowhere. That was funny.
Yep.
So I mean, we have these opportunities, even if they're silly, like a cute little monkey. Like, let's just agree on stuff more than we disagree. It's not that hard.
It's cool to hear that the Olympics for 2028 are going to be in LA.
That's nice.
So a little sad that it's LA, but glad to hear it's an American base.
At least it's on our land that we stole, I guess.
This is really important. Healthcare prices are out of control, and he pledged to bring prices down and offer alternatives. He has like these, he said TrumpRX, which RX means prescription. But basically he has a route that they're developing where you can get medications for a much cheaper price. I don't know how he's doing that.
Oh yeah, the Democrats didn't stand for that either, did they?
Funny enough, yeah. From what I could see, again.
But Obamacare is amazing.
It's interesting.
Can we get rid of the double standard, please?
Yeah, let's unify on those issues. Everyone wants healthcare to come down. Everyone. Yeah. So one thing you talked about was that insurance companies have been colluding with the medical industry and making a buttload of money. And Obamacare mandated that you have to have insurance or pay a tax. So because of that, it made insurance rates go up almost immediately. I remember when Obamacare got put in place, and the rates did go up. The only reason that they haven't, like for instance, last year rates were fairly low, and then this year, boom, it's a huge jump. It was because there was a bunch of subsidies coming in from Obamacare, and that program ended, and I guess they didn't renew it or something. So between last year and this year, some people had huge, hundreds of dollars worth of increase in their medical bills. For insurance, for their insurance bills. Really sad. So he's saying he's going to work on that. I think if Trump can successfully work on 3 factors, and that is food, rent, and healthcare, and he can bring prices down for that, it will be a successful second term. And I think that the left will come around and actually admit that he was an incredible president. Not during his term. They cannot do that right now. But I think in 20 years, they'll give him credit.
Yeah.
And part of it's because at that point it won't be politically salient. It's just.
I mean, he'll probably be dead by then, and then.
Probably.
Just like the the wave of hatred that people have for Trump will hopefully be over.
It'll be on someone else.
Oh, it'll be on a different
Republican. It'll have moved on. Yeah.
So.
Exactly. He's talking about how he made the executive order to block corporations from acquiring homes, basically buying up like BlackRock and State Street, I think it is, at least BlackRock is, buying up a bunch of homes and then planning on renting them back out to the Americans. But if you own that many homes, you've literally got the definition of a monopoly on the housing market. And we wonder why housing prices are so astronomical. It's part of the reason. That and illegal immigration, those two things together, has an influence on prices.
And didn't the government say in some revolution years ago that they're going to keep monopolies at bay? Something like that. They're going to stop people from having monopolies.
There's trust busting laws that went into effect. I think that was during the 30s or the 40s.
Something like that.
But I don't remember for sure.
Like, how do you not support that either?
Almost all of these issues, if you just take it at the issue, again, ask what's the plan. Obama said we're going to fundamentally transform our nation. We're going to fundamentally transform America in 5 days. He said that leading up to his campaign, to when he was going to be sworn in. My question was, why is everyone cheering for the fundamental transformation of America? Who is going to ask him, how, Mr. President, would you plan on changing America? For instance, a fundamental change of America was that we eliminated slavery. That's really good, okay? I'm really for that. A fundamental change in America was when Franklin Delano Roosevelt locked thousands of Japanese people that were citizens in internment camps because he was worried that they were spying on us and being used as arms of espionage from Japan, okay? I lived in California at Bishop, California, and I was about an hour drive away from a place called Manzanar. This is one of those camps, okay?
Really? Did you ever go?
I did. It's a museum now, and you can literally walk through all the facilities. It was a prison. It was a prison, not exactly like Auschwitz, because they weren't killing anyone except for when there were some riots. Mm-hmm. But it was bad. And everyone conveniently forgets about that and considers FDR one of the most amazing presidents. But he stole millions of tons of gold from civilians. That's how we have our gold reserve in Fort Knox, if it's there. That's how we have that gold. And then locking up Japanese people. It's crazy, all the controversial things. But he's remembered as a great president.
By who? By all of Americans as a whole?
Many people.
Yeah.
Yep. Most people consider him an incredible president. There were many problems. So the next thing is, he said that prices are down, which they are. Remember when eggs were, oh my gosh, it kills me. To buy 60 eggs, it was $30 at one point in Idaho. And all of that was because I guess Biden had some sort of policy where he said, we need to kill a bunch of chickens. They killed 150,000 chickens because of bird flu. I don't even know. What is that supposed to do? I get it if you're killing like maybe the infected ones, or maybe like separate them from the healthy ones, but why the heck did you kill 150,000 chickens? And then egg prices basically tripled. It was insane. It was $8 for a dozen of eggs. They're now down to like $2.58 for a dozen of eggs. So it's interesting to see, because people are talking about how hard it is to afford things right now. Do you not remember, though, how expensive it used to be to go to the grocery store? I get it. It still hurts. Anytime I go to the grocery store, it's at least $250.
$250. I was going to say, dang, bro. Let me get
$200 to $250 at least. And that's for a family of 3.
Yeah,
so
that's nuts.
It's definitely difficult to afford things right now, but it would have been $300 and $400 if we kept on the pace that we were. We were at 9% inflation at one point during the Biden era.
That's nuts.
That's dangerous. Okay. Now we're at like 1.4, something like that. That's really incredible as well. So inflation's down, prices are down. This is incredible. That's going to help people a lot. But for some reason, they're not feeling it entirely yet. And I think the big thing is rent is still really expensive and healthcare is really expensive still. The food prices have come down, but they haven't reversed. That's the other thing. So anyway, like the inflation hasn't reversed. So you're still at a loss. This one was awesome. I didn't know this was an act. I'll have to do some more research into what this is. He said, we need to pass. He called on Congress to pass the Stop Insider Trading Act. And he made a comment. He's like, yeah, I don't know why the left isn't standing for this one. Kind of making an accusation there.
Yeah.
And then he was like, did Nancy Pelosi stand?
Was she even there?
I believe she was.
What's her position now?
I think she's nearing retirement after 40 years.
Finally.
I think she was actually a senator for like 30, something like that.
That's good.
Can we put term limits on Congress, please, people? Can we agree on that? Term limits?
Yeah, I agree. I also think that anyone who wants to join Congress needs to be born in the United States, just like the president.
The naturalized citizen? I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
So, the Stop Insider Trading Act, let's look into that more. But it was funny that he called out Nancy Pelosi. See, everyone knows Nancy Pelosi insider trades. Everyone. The left agrees with it. The right agrees with it. That's one thing left and right can agree on. We need to stop insider trading. Mm-hmm. If you are in a position of authority in the government, you do not get to invest in the stock market. Thank you very much.
I agree.
Because,
especially when you're getting paid $150,000 a year.
Yeah,
because you choose your own paycheck.
Yep.
Shut up.
So, I think pay needs to be capped for people in Congress.
$60,000.
And maybe not that low, but yes, I get where you're going with that. But we need to cap pay. We need to prevent insider trading. You're already having lobbyists anyway. So you're getting the lobby money from, let's say, I don't know, the banks. Let's say it's like Bank of America gives lobby money to the politicians. Then on top of that, you're investing in Bank of America and affecting policies that affects Bank of America. So it's like just double dipping, triple dipping into the benefit pot. But we need to stop them from being able to take lobbying money. And I think if we do that, I think we clean up Washington very quickly. Because no one that seeks wealth is going to want to be a congresswoman or a congressman. It's as simple as that. If you solve the money issue in Washington, you solve the issue in Washington.
I agree. It's honestly pretty simple. I mean, let's cut their pay. Let's get rid of I don't know if it's an amendment or something where they get to raise their pay and it applies the next term or something. I think that's ridiculous. You should get paid bare minimum and not be allowed to invest or anything like that. It's so obvious.
Trump announced a war on fraud. That would be interesting. Hopefully it's actually a more effective war than the war on drugs and the war on terror. Uh-huh. But it's probably part of the Nick Shirley thing and the Somalian fraud. People have said, he was being hateful and divisive about the Somalians. No, he's not. It has nothing to do with the Somalians. We've talked about this before.
Not racial.
It has everything to do with Minnesota. Minnesota was aware of this thing. Do you realize I've done the math. I'm pretty sure it was $7 million in cash or $1 million in cash going through the airport every single day for 2 years.
$1 million
in a suitcase.
Paper money?
In paper money. And it was being flown to Somalia.
A day?
You're telling me TSA did
That's
not
like
find that?
$20 million a year.
It's insane. No, it's not.
I know.
It was hundreds of millions a year.
That's insane.
It's crazy. So Minnesota absolutely knew about it. That's a Minnesota problem. That is not about the Somalians. But who committed the fraud? The Somalians. That's just
generally speaking.
That's all.
It's not a racial thing. It's just a group.
It's just an observation.
What was Somalia even using that for? Weapons or to improve poverty or something. I don't even like. What do they use the money for?
Terrorism.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Well, that's okay then.
Yep. So I wanted more details on what the war on fraud is going to look like, but he said J.D. Vance will be leading that. He also said that they are going to be passing, I can't remember if it was an executive order or a law. Oh, I think it's part of the Save America Act. But he's going to prevent driver's licenses from being issued to any illegal alien or illegal immigrant, whatever term you prefer.
That's big because they've killed people.
Yeah, there have been several instances, namely in California, of illegal Islamic individuals that actually ended up driving a truck into a whole bunch of people.
Is that intentional or is that just bad driving?
I don't know.
I hope it's not intentional. I'm not going to assume it is, despite...
Trump was calling out that they don't even know English, so they can't read the road signs.
¿Cómo que puedes manejar si no sabes inglés, güey?
You don't know what you're seeing. I mean, it'd be like if I was driving through Mexico. I mean, some of those signs, they have English translations too. But we don't have that for Spanish. So they need to learn English before they can drive, basically. And so that's not going to happen if they're illegal immigrants.
Frankly, I'm a CDL driver. It's not that hard. Make wide turns and be aware. And that's how you drive a commercial vehicle. Yep. So the fact that people are getting into accidents, either it's intentional or you have crazy issues. That's insane to me.
The other thing that they did not stand for, the left, all of the leftist representatives, I want to be very clear who I'm talking to or talking about. Trump said, stand if you believe that the first duty of government is to protect citizens over illegal immigrants.
Yeah, I didn't see a single Democrat
They
representative
did not.
stand.
There is no way they would have stood for that. Because if they stand for that, then people are going to say, oh, now you guys are racist. You've betrayed us.
It is absolute checkmate on Trump's part. That is the most perfect question he could have asked. Because either they stand and he says, okay, so quit your bull crap and let's work on this.
Yep.
Or they don't stand like they did, and now the whole freaking United States gets to see, look at every single Democrat representative. They don't give a crap about you.
I don't think that it was a good move on their part. This is not a statement saying that citizens are more important than illegal immigrants. So let's say you are a consultant and you have certain clients and you're trying to help those clients succeed. If you prioritize other people that aren't your clients over your clients, do you think you're going to be employed for long?
No, of course not.
Is it that your clients are more important than anyone else? No. But what is your role? What is your job? To protect your clients' interests.
Yeah, for sure.
So in this case, it's a similar situation. Our government's main role is to protect citizens. First and foremost, okay? That is the priority. So if illegal immigration is hurting citizenry, we need to fix it. Again, that does not mean that we need to have brutal ICE raids, okay? That does not mean we need to have people shot in the streets. What it does mean is we need to have deportations, we need to have law and order, and we need to have people be honest with what we're really dealing with, okay? So, and it's a tough issue. I understand that. But that statement
tough
should be...
is it, though? What's tough about it?
That statement shouldn't be tough. That statement should be very easy to agree on. I think
should
majority...
be very easy.
Okay, so they were just doing this recently. 70% of Americans agree, 70% of Democrats agree that in order to vote, you should have voter ID. Do you want to know what the Democratic senators...
Crazy that it's only 70%, but continue.
Yeah, but the Democratic representatives, the senators and the representatives, they're saying that's racist because black people don't know how to get an ID. Black people don't know how to find the DMV. Black people don't know. Like, these are the reasons they're giving.
That's racist.
Have you seen, we'll put a card up at the top here. Have you seen the PragerU interviews where they've interviewed black people in Salem and other places? And they're like, hey, what do you think about people saying that you're too stupid in order to find out how to get to a DMV? They're like, what are you talking about? I'll give you right now the directions. You go down Washington Parkway and you turn right on Illinois. And then on the left-hand side is the DMV. They know where to find it. They know how to use computers. That's a recent thing that also came out. I forget, the Ohio mayor.
They were saying
governor.
that black people can't use
black
computers,
people are
that
too.
They don't know how.
Yep, I think it was a governor. She was saying that some black kids don't know what a computer is. They don't know how to use a computer.
Right now we have, young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
Most homeless people have phones.
Yeah.
Everyone has a phone in our country for the most part. You're telling me, okay, yes, statistically speaking, there's going to be someone that doesn't know what a computer is. I get it. Someone living in the woods somewhere in Alabama. I don't know. But I'm telling you, this is
probably white.
That is racist. It is racist to think that black people are too dumb to know how to find the ID's source.
Freaking what's his name? It's not Newsom. Who's the guy in California?
Oh.
What's his name?
I don't know.
He's so ugly too. But he was on some stage doing some interview to a black audience. And he's like, I'm just like you guys, I got this low GPA or whatever. There's these low scores. Like I'm dumb. I don't know how to read. And I think I understood what he was trying to say is like my, political position doesn't mean I'm better than you. Because I think what he was going for, it was.
Oof, that's a bad execution.
It's such a bad look when you're talking to a black crowd as a white man. You're saying I'm just like you. I'm not smart. I can't read. Like that's crazy. I don't think he intentionally meant that.
I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech.
That totally is racist too. That is racism, assuming that a certain race, a certain color can't do this, that, and the other.
They know.
So why are you pointing fingers at us?
They know how to find an ID and how to get an ID. It's not that expensive. At least not in Republican states. It's not that big of a deal.
Seriously.
I think I paid like $60 for my driver's license.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal, or $100 or whatever.
I pay $60 every time I go to Taco Bell. Not applicable. I'm just hungry right now.
So that's something that is really interesting. But 70% of Democrats are in favor of requiring ID to vote.
Perfect.
Okay. 95% of conservatives or Republicans are in favor of it. Okay. So when you average that together, it's like 85% or something like that.
Of the nation.
Of the nation is in favor of requiring ID to vote, which is what the Save America Act is going to require. Most of the Democrats, I think there maybe is one or two that it's going to vote on it and say yes. Almost all of them are saying no. If your Democratic senators and representatives are representing you as a Democrat or a socialist or whatever your party is, do you think, if you think that you need ID to vote, do you think that they are doing a good job of representing you if they don't vote yes on Save America Act?
That's a good question.
Put it in the comments. I think this is pivotal. I think this is really important for us to have a conversation about. He called for the end of sanctuary cities, called on Congress to approve the Save America Act, which, by the way, funny detail about that, Zohar Mamdani has put out an initiative because New York got dumped on with snow to hire additional snow plowers. Not only is there a minimum wage at, I think, $19 an hour. I don't know if it was just for that job or what. He raised the minimum wage to about $29.80 an hour.
Idiot.
So it's not going to go over well. Learn from California. You raise the minimum wage, it goes bankrupt fast.
Raise the minimum wage, you get less workers. So raising the minimum wage to try and attract more workers,
well, it's a government job though, so they're not going to minimize how many people they pay.
Oh, so
but they're going to go broke.
It's going to come out of my tax money then.
Yeah,
cool.
He raised property taxes by about 9.5% across the board. He didn't tax the rich folks. He's taxing
because he can't.
He's taxing the poor as well. He's taxing the middle class.
Just like socialism has done since the beginning of time.
He's also raiding the rainy day fund and the senior assistant fund or whatever it was.
I haven't heard.
They're funds in New York City. They're probably socialized programs. But he is raiding the amount of money that's in there, raiding the supply just to break even. This is his first year.
It's his first 3 months.
It's crazy.
Guy's a moron.
So
rhymes with his name.
But that's going on right now. And then in regard to immigration, it's like 75%, 70% of America that's in favor of being strict on our immigration policies and deporting people. Now, where the divide happens is on how we go about that process, okay? And that makes sense. We don't want violent deportations.
Of course not.
Okay? But 70-ish% of America, based on CNN polls, are in favor of deportations of illegal immigrants, regardless of crime status. It has nothing to do with whether you raped someone or killed someone. It has everything to do with you broke the law.
Well, here's the thing, and this is going to set people off. Every single last one of the illegal aliens in this country is a criminal.
Because they broke the law.
Because when you cross over, you break the law.
Yeah.
You can be totally peaceful. Not every single one of them is a rapist or a killer. Very few are.
Yeah,
but every single one is a criminal. And that's a misdemeanor, right? For the first offense of crossing the border illegally, that's a misdemeanor.
So, and all this ties in because the deportations and the IDs are in the same line of thought. It's all about illegal immigration. Funny enough, for those snowplow jobs, Zohran Mamdani requires that there be 2 forms of government-issued ID when applying for the job and your social security card. That's 3 forms.
That's
3 forms of
hold on a
ID.
second, that's
So
racist.
to vote, it's racist if you ask for 1 form of ID to verify if you are who you say you are. But if you want to plow snow in New York City, you need 3. That's like triple racism there. You need 3 forms of ID.
So, let me get this straight. It's racist to ask for ID when you're voting because, according to other people, not me, not us, black people don't know how to find the DMV.
According to actual quoted statements from Democratic leaders.
So that means that they're providing jobs at a high pay of almost $30 an hour to only white people.
Oof.
Because only white people, according to Democrats, are intelligent enough to get that kind of ID.
Ouch.
That's
I honestly didn't think about it that way.
I mean, think about it. Who's racist? You want to talk about systemic racism? Look at the Democratic Party.
And this isn't fitting for the people that vote for these individuals. The people that are voting for these individuals do not support this stuff. But I'm telling you right now, your leaders are lying to you. And again, we've got this problem too on the right. I mean, the fact that we're struggling to pass the Save America Act is partly because there's a couple of Republican senators that are like, I don't know. Listen,
locals.
We need to pass the Save America Act, guys. It's such an essential part of our national security to just ensure that if you are voting, that you are actually a citizen and who you say you are, and that you didn't cast a ballot more than once. But
that should be so freaking simple.
do you realize that in California, you don't need to present any ID? You just have to say that I check a box saying I am not committing perjury, meaning that I'm not lying.
Does that mean that people can vote multiple times in California?
Their dogs voted. There was a person who actually registered their dog to vote in California. Yes.
That's awesome.
This is the state.
I kind of like
this
that.
is the
actually.
state
That's
I
such a
fled
meme.
from.
I mean, of course, I hate that, but that's stupid. So, I saw a meme when Trump, or before the election that Trump just won. Some Canadian went down to California and voted for Trump just because he could, because there's no ID requirements.
Yeah, that was another one. That was another one. So,
I still don't support that, despite that he voted for the guy that I wanted to win. But still, like, that can go both ways.
Yes.
You open up the laws like that. Shoot, bro, I'm going to California. I'm going straight to the middle of LA, and I'm voting 10,000 times for Trump.
If you do that, you're going to get arrested.
Oh, crap, I forgot I'm white. That's right.
And a Republican.
Oh, I'm racist, and I'm Christian, and I suck, dude. Wow. I gotta change. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for being white. Never sorry for being a Christian.
Hashtag white privilege. Okay.
Yeah, hold on a second. I got something to say. This is ginger anger right here. This leprechaun is pissed off. Take my skin for a day, go to the beach, get sunburned, and then I dare you to tell me that I have white privilege. It sucks. Okay? Go get sunburned and then tell me I have white privilege. Seriously. I am very blessed. Yes, my life has been very blessed by God, and I'm grateful for it. But seriously, let's stop pointing fingers and accusing. Let's share our blessings and our prosperity with those who are less fortunate. I think that's what we should be doing. Can we all agree with that?
Mm-hmm. Okay. The other thing he was saying is that part of the Save America Act, they're going to prevent mail-in ballots for anyone that's not disabled or elderly, which I think is brilliant.
It's perfect.
If you have 2 legs that can walk and you're not old, go to the voting
Get your
poll.
Cheeks over there.
Go to the voting booth. Exactly. I feel like that's pretty straightforward for us because part of the problem we're concerned about with mail-in ballots is voter fraud. Just dumping a whole batch
Happened when Biden
fake mailed-in ballots.
Yeah.
And then tainting the whole. That's something they're talking about right now too. They're looking into this county in Arizona. Apparently, they had more ballots than residents in the county.
Oh, but that's racist. We shouldn't go there.
It's crazy. So apparently, when they're looking at it, and I don't know what the details are. It sounds almost as if Arizona would have flipped had this county been in favor of Trump. It would have flipped, and Arizona would have went to Trump.
What county was it?
I forget.
It had to be something big, like Phoenix or Mesa or something, somewhere around there if it was going to flip the state.
I don't remember what the name of it was. I've heard it several times, and it keeps slipping my mind. But anyway, so that's one thing. I'm in support of that.
I think it's awesome that that Republicans have been able to win elections in the last few instances with honest voting, at least for the most part.
I'm not going to
sure
say
there's fraud on our side, but not to the extent that the Democrats are doing.
Yeah, I do think that it's more severe on the other side, but
we're not.
I'm not going to say that it's been completely fair on our side either.
I wouldn't say so either, but I think it's a lot more honest than the other side.
And again, I don't have proof that we've cheated on polls. I kind of know it's just inevitable. The whole point is that the cheating won't beat out the truth.
Right.
Like anyone that's cheating, it's minuscule compared to the whole grand scale of our country. He talked about we must ban it, and it was right after he was talking about trans surgeries and taking kids from parents because they were refusing to allow their kids to have surgeries. So I don't know which one is he referring to in that instance. Well, that would be important to clarify.
Who's taking?
They were talking about. So he talked about in the State of the Union address that there was a family, which by the way they were present at the State of the Union, and their daughter was basically considering transitioning, and the school refused to tell the parents. And it was in, was it Georgia, South Carolina? They were somewhere in the South, I'm pretty sure, on the East Coast. They moved. She moved to Maryland, something like that. But basically, she was in Maryland, and it was tried by a judge in Maryland, and he actually told the parents. What did he levied a verdict that basically that they shouldn't have custody of her anymore or something like that.
How old was his daughter
to remember.
that wanted to transition?
At the time, I don't remember. I can't remember what he said. But basically,
clearly
she didn't transition, and she was present at the State of the Union, and just he was talking about how they were trying to stop her from going back to her parents.
That is fascism. That's Nazism right there, trying to take families apart. You complain about ICE tearing families apart. No, they deport them together, which is actually very kind. But you got people trying to take kids from their parents because the kids want to cut off their parts.
And why does this not make the news? Why?
Well, because they're a white family. They're probably racist.
It's because it doesn't fit the narrative of CNN, MSNBC,
exactly.
of any of these places. It's just not part of the narrative.
Any major news outlet has a narrative. I don't care what side you're on, but yeah, it's so skewed and political. It's redonkulous.
So another thing that was really fascinating was he restored the political prisoner. His name is Enrique. He was in the Caracas, Venezuelan prison. He was locked up because of political issues. I guess he was making comments about Maduro or something, and then they were coming after his niece. Well, she was at the State of the Union, and she didn't know that they had actually gotten a negotiation for Enrique to be released. And so Trump's like, by the way, your uncle's right behind that door. And she turns it around, and he's able to hug her.
Really?
That was incredible.
Dang, I should watch that.
That was awesome.
So cool.
And then the other thing was he mentioned how during the Venezuelan raid, all of that tech that they just beat with Space Force, Russia and China had supplied to Venezuela. So what he said, and this is an exact quote, how did that work out? Not too good. That was an immediate and direct call on China and Russia. Are you scared now?
So
don't tango with us.
Let me just get this straight. So the technology that Venezuela had, like the defensive technology that we totally took out to dinner and made them pay.
Yep.
That was supplied by the two most powerful nations on earth.
Besides us. Yep.
You guys are pathetic. You guys suck. Russia and China, you guys are so stupid.
Sloppy tech.
That's not racist. I'm talking to your governments. You guys are dog water. Like, you just got squad wiped by the United States of America. That's so sick.
And again, I think there's
Freebird.
I still think there's some questions that are unanswered about was it the right move for us to do this in Venezuela? But there's no doubt that that was the most insane military initiative ever in history of mankind.
No doubt in my mind that was also, how do I put this, sanctioned, protected, guided by divine power. I totally believe that, God's hand was in that. Whether it's right or constitutional or not, it's definitely preserving America.
We definitely know, and that's one of the people he actually gave a Congressional Medal of Honor to. There's this guy named Eric. He was shot 3 or 4 times in the legs and the hip. It literally, these are anti-aircraft shells that he was hit with, and it shredded his legs. And he needs legs in order to operate the craft. He's flying a Chinook helicopter. I didn't know they used Chinooks on this. Just so you know, it's the one that it has 2 helicopter propellers, and they're staggered so they can spin. So it's not.
Oh, it's like the super long, thick one that looks like a Costco hot dog, and it's like. I'm starving right now, bro. I'm sorry.
That's your 4th mention of food.
My 4th? I said Taco
sure.
Bell, Costco. What else? What else did I say?
I just remember there being other things.
I ate a buttload of Cheez-Its before we filmed, too. And I'm on lots of pre-workout, which is probably why I'm so hungry. Failed my benchmarks, by the way, but it's okay.
Anyway, getting back to the
That's cool, though. Those are cool helicopters.
It is. So they basically were able to transport a ton of units from that. He was literally getting gunned down and shot up. And his legs that he needs in order to navigate the plane and control it are getting obliterated. He was standing with a platform. He had basically a walker, but it's for him to stand. And he was using that. So you see his arms, and they're down like this because he is using his arms to stand. Insane. This dude's a legend.
I did watch that. That was emotional.
Well, they said if he did not successfully land that helicopter, they probably would have called off the entire mission. Really? So he was getting shot up, and then he actually turned the helicopter as he's getting shot to allow his gunners on the side to shoot the machine gunners that were attacking him and others. So they kind of cleared the path. They were the first helicopter down. They landed, and everyone else was able to succeed. And then he turned to his co-pilot, and he's like, I think I'm about to pass out. I need you to take over. Wow. I don't know about you. I don't know if I could do that in his position. I think I'd be freaking out by the blood loss.
Yeah. That is
wondering if I'm going to see my wife and kids when I get back home. If I get back home. So.
It's amazing. I mean, he got rewarded the highest honor that anyone can receive, right?
That is I think it's the highest military award.
Right.
So it's across the board. You know, civilians can't get this award. You have to be in the military.
Yeah. I don't even think that's enough.
Oh, for sure.
That's freaking amazing. I mean, how how do you not love America after what's happened in the last few months?
This was a really high
Venezuela.
dose. Mm-hmm.
Well, rearrange those because one is more important, but
that was a very
seriously,
high concentrated dose of patriotism.
that's freak, man.
It's crazy to think that Venezuela happened 2 months ago. It feels like it happened like a year or two ago.
One of the best days of my life, too. But
It's crazy. So, but yeah, very patriotic stuff there. I thought it was a good speech leading up to this, but just wait until we get to the closer. So there was also a 100-year-old Navy pilot that received the Congressional Medal of Honor, and he was just like, it was long overdue. This dude, he's fought in like 5 different wars.
what a stud.
He talked about a time when he was just surrounded, and he was able to come out on top.
That's someone's grandpa, dude.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So really awesome. We're going to watch a quick clip that I recorded of the last 5 minutes of the speech. I think this is the greatest speech I have ever heard Trump give. These last 5 minutes, so encouraging, so hope-filled, and I think America's craving that right now. Think what you do about Trump. I don't blame you. I understand if you hate him. Listen to this speech as if it was your favorite president giving it. If it's Barack Obama, if it's Bush, I don't know how many people think he's their favorite president, but whoever your favorite president is, if it's Teddy Roosevelt, I don't care. George Washington, think if they were giving this speech instead of Trump, would you feel the same way? Let's go ahead and watch it real quick.
Thank you. 250 years is a long time in the life of a nation, but in another sense, it's really a mere moment in the eye of history. Two of the gentlemen we met in the gallery this evening took their first breaths 1 century ago, 100 years before that, on July 4th, 1826, the author of the Declaration of Independence, brilliant, Thomas Jefferson, drew his last breath. Just a single long human lifespan separates the giants who declared and won our independence from the heroes who stand among us tonight. Everything our nation has done, everything we have achieved, has been the work of those few great lifetimes. In those brief chapters, Americans built this nation from 13 humble colonies into the pinnacle of human civilization and human freedom, the strongest, wealthiest, most powerful, most successful nation in all of history. Americans ventured out across the daunting and dangerous continent. We carved paths through an unforgiving wilderness, settled a boundless frontier, and tamed the beautiful but very, very dangerous Wild West. From empty marshes and wide open plains, we raised up the world's greatest cities. Together, we mastered the world's mightiest industries and shattered history's monstrous tyrannies. And we liberated millions from the chains of fascism, communism, oppression, and terror. Americans lifted humanity into the skies on the wings of aluminum and steel. And then we launched mankind into the stars on rockets powered by sheer American will and unyielding American pride. We wired the globe with our ingenuity. We captivated the planet with American culture. And now we are pioneering the next great American breakthroughs that will change the entire world. All of this and so much more is the enduring legacy, unmatched glory of the hardworking patriots who built and defended this country and who still carry the hopes and freedoms on all of humanity's backs. For years they were forgotten, betrayed, and cast aside. But that great betrayal is over, and they will never be forgotten again. Because when the world needs courage, daring, vision, and inspiration, it is still turning to America. And when God needs a nation to work his miracles, he knows exactly who to ask. There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome, no frontier too vast for us to conquer. No dream too bold for us to chase, no horizon too distant for us to claim. For our destiny is written by the hand of providence, and these first 250 years were just the beginning. From the rugged border towns of Texas to the heartland villages of Michigan, from the sun-kissed shores of Florida to the endless fields of the Dakotas, and from the historic streets of Philadelphia to right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the golden age of America is upon us. The revolution that began in 1776 has not ended. It still continues because the flame of liberty and independence still burns in the heart of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
After watching that, I'm pumped. I'm pumped up. I don't know about you. America can solve any obstacle, overcome any obstacle, and solve any challenge that lies before them. We can do it. What a perfect capstone for the State of the Union. You bring in the Olympians, you bring in the soldiers, you bring in the survivors of all these different situations, and he gives them medals and he gives them praise, and at the end he says, all of these are witness that America can do it, that America can beat the obstacles that stand in front of us, whether those obstacles be poverty, whether those obstacles be disunion, and anger and hatred, any of those things. We can do it, people. Do you believe we can? I went to a business conference recently for work. And at that business conference, they asked a question of the company that was leading the conference. Do you believe that our best years are ahead of us or behind us? America, I ask you tonight, do you believe that our best years as our nation, America, land of the free, home of the brave, do you believe our best years are ahead of us? Or do you believe that they're behind us and unretrievable? That is what we are arguing about. That is what we are deciding. I declare our best years, we have not seen them yet. You, as a young person you might be, you don't know all of the struggles we have been through to get to this point. Those 100-year-old warriors, they do. They have seen times before the radio existed. They know everything that's changed in our country since the early 1900s. They know how much sacrifice was made for us to be where we are right now. A lot of us don't. But we have seen worse times in our country. We have seen more divisive times. We've seen civil war. We've seen revolution. We've seen blood-covered snow as we trek across the frozen wilderness and tundras.
I mean, if we weren't going to make it, we wouldn't have made it.
Yep.
We would have been gone already. And the fact that we're still here is evidence enough that Trump's words are true. We can absolutely do whatever we need to do to become an even better nation. And you mentioned obstacles. That's exactly what the obstacles are. The obstacles are not the Republican Party or the Democrat Party.
Agree.
It's not the sides versus each other. It needs to be us versus the problem. That's how problems actually get solved in relationships, in business, in every single freaking situation.
Realizing you're on the
and
same
people
team.
need to grow up and be the adults that they are age-wise and realize that we need to collaborate. We need to stop pointing fingers and being violent and just tackle the problems together. Like I said earlier, we can start with tackling immigration by making the legal process easier. Everyone can get behind that. If you're not behind that, then you're part of the problem and you need to fix yourself. It's just one example. But it is not, we're not in a civil war. We don't need to go to a civil war. It's us versus the problems. And the problem isn't an individual. It's just issues that arise. And the fact that we've made it this far is a testament that we can make it even farther.
None of the problems we're dealing with right now are new, besides maybe AI. And even that, we saw the Industrial Revolution do similar things. So none of the problems that we're facing right now are new. We can overcome. We can, with the help of Christ, defeat all of the things that stand in our way to defeat us. But we will defeat, we will conquer if we have faith and if we work together. So I implore each of you to do your part to work with your neighbor, blue or red, Christian or not. Let's work together to make this country greater than it's ever been. I believe our greatest years are ahead of us, and I hope you do too. That's everything for tonight, guys.
This is good.